What's going on, you guys, and welcome back to a different perspective. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button for your boy. So as promised, I said in my video where I did the text receipt reaction to the young man who was waiting forever for this girl to show up to their date, I said if you guys comment down below in that video some of your experiences, that I was going to be reading them off in a later video, and this is that video. So we got a couple of here that we're about to check out, and boy, man, this is bad. Ladies, if you're watching, stop. Do better. This is horrible. This is horrible. But we're about to check this out. This first one here, it goes like this. My story is similar to the guy in the text receipt. This was back in my college days. What had me livid was, dang, hold on, for this to be in his college days and he remembered this mess, this affected him. He felt some type of way. He says, it wasn't like she was getting all dolled up. We were supposed to be chilling for the whole day, but when I show up to her place, she had me waiting outside for almost 30 minutes. I definitely pulled off on her. Didn't respond to texts or calls for a couple of days. She was persistent, so eventually I answered. She literally made me start doing the 3-song rule. I was like, what's the 3-song rule? This is the 3-song rule. If you're not out and ready by the time the 3rd song finish, I will pull off. Don't text or call me and ask where I'm at. Oh, okay, that's a good one, the 3-song rule. So some of y'all, instead of leaving comments about your own experiences, y'all wanted to talk about the one that I was having. Y'all, you gotta understand that every situation is different. This wasn't a first date situation with me and this girl. See, my situation is a bit different because unlike most of these messages that we're about to look at here, where these guys were going on first dates, I've been dealing with this girl and talking to this girl for months now and hanging out with her damn near every weekend, right? So for this to be her first offense, pulling up on me late, I would be the one looking like an asshole had I just go ahead and ended something off of what is just the first offense. Because you got to remember, y'all, we're only humans. We make mistakes. And I got to take many things into consideration as to why she pulled up late. She explained herself. I know she was doing family outings all day. I had been in communication with this woman all day. And I know she lives an hour away. And having to go through Atlanta traffic on a busy day, that was 2 hours. But yeah, still, I'm saying I'm excusing that action, but I'm not done with her. I'm not done with her yet. She still got more to hear from me in regards to that day. But anyway, let's go on to the next story. My man's here. He says, I had a similar thing happen to me. I met a really beautiful lady who wanted to enroll into the college I went to. We talked and exchanged numbers, almost 2 months of talking. I asked her on the date and she agrees, and we set a date. So we planned to get some food at one of my favorite spots that serves amazing food, then go bowling. I wait an hour and a half and said, F it. Ordered some ribs, mashed potatoes, veggies, and a cold beer. After I paid for my food, I get a message saying that she's on her way. I looked at my phone, ignored it, and drove to my friend's place to chill. I get to my friend's place and see a long text, and without even a simple sorry for being late, I see all men are the same, just trash. He says, I responded, I'm sorry you feel that way. All the best to you. Exactly. I'm glad that he dealt with it that way. Instead of trying to stoop down to her level, he's just like, you know what? I'm sorry you feel the way you do. Best of luck to you. Because who's the trash one in this situation? She's the one that pulled up hella late. Look now, fellas, I thought about it. As I'm reading these messages, we should have rules in place for how long we should wait for a woman that's pulling up late. It's first dates, especially if it's first date, not somebody that you've been, like my situation, that you've been talking to and dealing with for a while and y'all really feeling each other. You know what I'm saying? Not like that. You should have rules in place depending on what the situation is. Depending on whether there's reservations for a place or not, depending on if it's like a comedy show or not. Some of these places, if the woman is taking forever to pull up and you think that she might not come, and you just go like me at that dang on comedy show, I'm just gonna sit there and enjoy the show. But if it's somewhere like you getting dinner at a place, especially if you're getting reservations, after about 20 minutes, let's say the time y'all supposed to show up was 7 o'clock, after about 20 minutes she ain't pulled up yet, order your food. Order your food, because she knew what time she was supposed to be there. She don't need to be trying to pull up She don't need to be leaving the house at the time she's supposed to be at the place with you. I feel like it's best to set a time limit on how long you're willing to wait for somebody to pull up, because this is ridiculous that so many men deal with stuff like this. I feel like damn near every man that has been actively out here dating has dealt with a situation like this at some point. Me, for instance, the reason I got as upset as I did with the girl that I'm talking to is because I'm thinking about all the times where I was going out on first dates and I dealt with situations like that. And I had to think, I'm like, wait, this isn't a first date. Let me dial it back. Let me dial it back. She has not given me a reason up to this moment to feel as though that she's not gonna actually show up or do the thing that she says she's gonna do. So let me dial this back. She's not those other women. This isn't a first date. But on first dates, you should definitely. The last dude's 3-song rule, I like that. After the 3rd song in, if they ain't pulled up by then, you can pull off on them. I like it. So known as A1 says, I met this one chick online and she looked absolutely beautiful. I mean, risk it all beautiful. So long story short, I asked her out to a restaurant named Cheddar's. If you know, you know. So I take extra time to get myself together. Oh, man, fellas, don't you? Man, that's one of the things that used to kill me back in the day. There was times where I got stood up on dates where I took the whole day to get ready for that date. Ooh, that junk used to kill, boy. So he says, just to show up to her and not 1, not 2, but 3 kids. He says, we've been talking for a couple of weeks and this wasn't brought to my attention at all that she had 3 kids with her. My face has a tendency to speak for itself. And it was not making I'm glad to see you face at all. She looked at me like I'm the one who's wrong. Of course she does. He's like, I just simply said lose my number and walked off. P.S. Her pictures were pre-pregnancy, so there was that too. Wow, that's messed up. I had to pin this one. I had to pin this comment, man. I'm like, no, she didn't. How you gonna be talking to this girl? She don't tell you that she got 3 kids. You planning on taking her out on a dinner date or a date out to eat, and she brings all 3 of these kids for you to feed them. Oh, I can only imagine how them kids felt. What did she tell them kids? Like, hey kiddies, we're gonna go out. I met this nice guy. He's gonna take us out to eat. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna have a great time. And then them kids pull up and the dude's like, oh, hell no. What happened? What happened after that? Like, was the woman like, I'm sorry, kids, like, we're not eating today? Yo, that's crazy. That is crazy. Ghost 2453 says, a woman did this to me. I had already bought my ticket and she called 20 minutes before the movie started. 20 minutes before the movie started. Listen to this. I should have just went into the movies instead of waiting on her and stupidly buying her ticket after the phone calls. We were 3 minutes late. Keep in mind that I text her 2 hours early what time I was going to see the movie, and she was allowed to come see if she choose. He says, I should have just kept my self-respect and watched the movie solo. So he said they were 3 minutes late. 3 minutes late isn't horrible, but like I said in that same video that he commented on, nobody wants to be late to a movie, man. Missing the first part of the movie it sets you up to not know what's going on through the rest of the movie, right? Luckily, it was only 3 minutes late and not 30 minutes late. See, he's upset and frustrated with her because he told her 2 hours in advance that he was going to go see this movie, and she waits 20 minutes before the movie starts to actually hit him up. Like, that's another thing too. Fellas, if you're texting a female and y'all supposed to be having a date going on, and an hour before, this is my rule, especially if it's a first or even a second date in some cases, an hour before the date is supposed to partake. If you don't hear from her, then you know what? Just either you don't go or pull up and enjoy whatever y'all was supposed to do by yourself. Because it's a strong possibility that she's gonna flake. Because what will usually happen, let me just tell y'all ladies something, because this is what y'all be doing. I done had this happen to me many a times. You'll plan a date with somebody a week before. You wait a couple of days throughout that week before you hit them back up to actually, make sure that they're still coming to the date. They say that they are. And then the day of the date, you're texting them, you're calling them, they're not answering. 5 p.m. comes around, the date starts at 8. You're still texting, calling, they're not answering. An hour before, you're thinking, oh wait, maybe they'll just show up. You don't, fella, you don't leave the house. You don't go. You do not leave that house if you haven't heard from them all day. Or even in some cases, after you done hit them up 3 or 4 times that day, they will say, you know what? Oh, sorry, I'm just now seeing your messages. Yeah, I'm still down. 8 p.m., right? 8 o'clock comes around. You don't hear from them. You don't see them. They flake. Sucks, bro. It sucks. All right, y'all, we got one more. It says, I'm sure my story is similar or exactly the same as the others, but told a lady to meet me at a restaurant to have dinner. It was nice, not expensive, and had good food. I've already been waiting 20 minutes before I get a text saying she is running late. I get the table and sit for another 30 minutes before ordering my food. See what I say? After 20 minutes, order your food, right? This man waited 50 minutes in total now to order his food. He says, keep in mind, we are communicating every 5 to 15 minutes. And she keeps saying she's almost there. It's a 10-minute drive from her place. He says, I finish eating alone, have a few drinks alone, pay the bill alone, then leave. The cab drops me off at my place and she is still telling me she's almost there. It's now 2 hours and 20 minutes from the time we agreed upon when she finally shows up. The restaurant is nearly closed and she asked if we can go to another place that just happens to be 2 times more expensive. I say she can go, but I'm at home, and have a good night. Booked and deleted her number that night. I'm telling y'all, man, some of these women, I don't know what they be out here doing, but it ain't right. It ain't right. I remember one time, my former roommate, he had a date, right? And for whatever reason, I ain't have nothing to do that day, so I was like, I'm just gonna mess with him. I'm gonna follow him on his date. So I hop in my car. He didn't even know I did this. And I followed this man to the restaurant that he was going to for his date. And somewhere I lost him. I lost him on the highway. So I ended up having to turn all the way back around and go back home. And he was all the way in the perimeter. So I was like, oh, dang, I lost him. That was a waste of my time. And tell me why, like 5 or 10 minutes later, he pulls back up and he's walking in the door. I'm like, yo, what happened? He's like, she stood me up. I was like, damn, man, again? Because he used to get stood up a lot. Poor dude. He haven't even dated in like the past 2 years because he was so fed up with it. Ladies, y'all gotta stop. If you don't have true intentions on hanging out with a man and getting to know him, don't waste his time. Don't sit there and tell him that you're gonna do something, that you're gonna be there, that you're gonna show up if you're not. And even if you are, if you plan on being late and you know you're gonna be late, say that, or else you'll be put in situations like this where you get left there for whatever time you show up and the guy don't be there waiting. It's crazy. But anyway, y'all know what time it is. Y'all like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned for more. As always, you can follow your boy on the gram, man, Twitter at Artofkickz, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. See ya.